All right, people, let's talk tariffs. Think of it as a polite economic spat, the kind where countries slap extra charges on each other's goods. Except it's not polite at all, because guess who ends up footing the bill? You guessed it. It's the unsuspecting shopper strolling down the aisles, completely unaware they're caught in the crossfire. We're talking about higher prices on everything from the avocados on your toast to the car you drive. And don't even get me started on that new phone you've been eyeing. These tariff wars might seem distant, like some boring economic theory, but trust me, they're about to get up close and personal with your wallet. Remember, that time you went to the store and your favorite bag of chips was suddenly smaller, but the price stayed the same. That, my friends, is the magic of shrinkflation, and it's just one of the many joys of a good old-fashioned tariff war. So buckle up, buttercups. We're going on a wild ride through the wonderful world of tariffs, exploring how these seemingly small fees can snowball into a full-blown economic headache for everyday folks like you and me. Now, you might be thinking, tariff wars sounds intense. Well, they are, and guess what? They've been around for ages. Think back to the 1930s and the Great Depression. Remember the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act? No? Well, let me refresh your memory. Picture this. The US, in all its wisdom, decides to raise tariffs on over 20,000 imported goods. Sounds great, right? Protect American jobs. Except it backfired spectacularly. Other countries retaliated with their own tariffs, global trade plummeted, and the Great Depression, well, it got a whole lot greater. Fast forward to today, and we're seeing a similar story unfold with the US-China trade war. Tit-for-tat tariffs have been flying back and forth, leaving consumers caught in the crosshairs. It's like watching two toddlers fight over a toy, except the toy is the global economy and the toddlers have nuclear weapons. The lesson here is simple. Tariff wars are a lose-lose situation. They stifle trade, drive up prices, and ultimately hurt the very people they're supposed to protect. But hey, at least we learn from our mistakes, right? Let's talk groceries, shall we? Because if there's one place where tariff wars hit close to home, it's at the supermarket. Remember those avocados we talked about? Get ready to pay more for those bad boys along with your imported cheeses, wines, and fruits. And don't even get me started on the price of orange juice. Remember when a gallon of OJ was a breakfast staple? Well, tariffs on imported oranges have sent prices soaring, turning your morning mimosa into a luxury item. Suddenly, that weekly grocery run feels less like a routine errand and more like an extreme sport. You're dodging price hikes left and right, trying to stretch your budget further than a yoga instructor on a retreat. Now let's move on to the fun stuff, electronics and cars. Remember that shiny new phone you've been eyeing? Well, thanks to tariffs on imported components, that phone just got a whole lot more expensive. And don't even think about upgrading your laptop, TV or gaming console. Those prices are through the roof too, and if you're thinking of buying a new car, well, buckle up for some sticker shock. Tariffs on imported steel and aluminum have driven up the cost of manufacturing, making that new car smell a whole lot more like debt. So whether you're a tech enthusiast or just need a reliable set of wheels, tariffs are here to put a damper on your plans. It seems the price of progress is getting steeper by the day. Section 5, Shrinkflation Nation, paying the same for less. Let's talk about shrinkflation, that sneaky little tactic companies use to offset rising costs. It's like a magic trick, but instead of pulling a rabbit out of a hat, they're pulling ounces out of your cereal box. That's right, your favorite products are shrinking before your very eyes. The same price, but less product. It's enough to make you want to grab your pitchfork and storm the nearest corporate headquarters. Shrinkflation might seem like a small thing, but it adds up. It's death by 1,000 cuts to your purchasing power. And in a world of tariff wars and rising costs, it's a trend that's only going to get worse. Section 6. The wage price conundrum, stuck in a rut while costs climb. Now, let's talk about wages, or rather the lack thereof. Because here's the real kicker. While the cost of everything from groceries to electronics is skyrocketing, wages have remained stagnant for far too long. It's like being on a treadmill that's going twice as fast as usual, but you're still stuck in the same place. You're working just as hard, if not harder, but you're falling further and further behind. Imagine this. You're a teacher, working tirelessly to educate the next generation. You're passionate about your job, but the rising cost of living is making it impossible to make ends meet. You're forced to take on extra work just to pay the bills. How is that fair? The wage price conundrum is a recipe for disaster, and tariffs are only adding fuel to the fire. Section 7, passing the buck: businesses, consumers, and the tariff squeeze. Now, you might be thinking, surely businesses are feeling the pinch too, right? And you'd be right, they are. But here's the thing, businesses are really good at passing the buck. And who do they pass it to? That's right, the consumer. Think of it like a game of hot potato, but instead of a potato, it's the added cost of tariffs. Businesses don't want to absorb those costs, so they pass them on to you and me in the form of higher prices. And it's not just small businesses feeling the pressure. Large corporations are also feeling the squeeze, forcing them to make tough decisions like cutting back on investments or, you guessed it, raising prices even further. It's a vicious cycle. Section 8, the ripple effect: supply chains, uncertainty, and economic jitters. Here's the thing about tariff wars, they have a nasty habit of creating a ripple effect throughout the entire global economy. Think of it like throwing a pebble into a pond. It's not just the initial splash that's the problem, it's the ever-expanding rings that follow. Tariffs disrupt global supply chains, making it more difficult and expensive for businesses to get the goods they need. This leads to delays, shortages, and a whole lot of uncertainty in the market. And when businesses are uncertain about the future, they become hesitant to invest and hire. This can lead to a slowdown in economic growth and, in a worst-case scenario, even a recession. Section 9, a tax in disguise: unmasking tariffs and demanding fair trade. Let's call a spade, shall we? Tariffs are a tax on consumers. They're a hidden tax, cleverly disguised as a way to protect domestic industries. But in reality, they do far more harm than good. So what can we do about it? Well, for starters, we need to get educated about the issue. The more we understand about tariffs and their impact on our lives, the better equipped we'll be to demand change. We need to urge our elected officials to pursue fair trade policies that benefit everyone, not just a select few. We need to hold them accountable for the promises they make and the policies they implement. It's time to end these pointless trade wars and focus on creating a global economy that works for everyone. After all, we're all in this together, right?